It's a journey, y'all. It's called the journey within. That's what my friend said to me. She said,
Genius.
there's no greater journey than the journey within.
Here I am shuffling and spirit's like, dude, we need to bring love into the situation all over again. We need to go one more time. I literally just shuffled all over again and okay. Spirit's like, yo, dude, this card needed to stay out. Can you just like leave it out? I mean, Spirit's like, no, this card needed to stay out, bro. One more. Be bold and make the first move. Be bold and make the first move. And it's a cardinal moon. And I was just thinking about a mutable moon, and here we see it over here. The mutable moon is saying nothing yet is set in stone, and then a cardinal moon. This is like change, and it's like, oh wow. Okay, Spirit, I see you. This is about like how we look at change, like being open to change and being adverse to change. Where, the mutable moon is speaking to something that is like still able to change, like the mutable signs in astrology, and then the cardinal, which is the ones that are like more fixed, that don't change so much. You just go check out cardinal, mutable, right? But wow, it's interesting that these are like the last two cards to come out. And again, Spirit's like, yeah, we know you like to know what the reading's about before you get into it. But yo, this is, just coming out of what we just, the previous reading, right? The one I just did now. We were speaking about the cause and effect, Two of Pentacles. And this, it's like to change or not to change, to do or not to do. It's like, it's like we're being asked this question of like, do you want to do this or do you not want to do this? I'm getting the sense that like this is a very powerful energy, a powerful opportunity as well to kind of choose your direction and the path that you're going to choose or the step that you're going to take. Granted, it's bold. You making the first move. Nothing yet is set in. Oh, nothing is yet set in stone. Goodness gracious! So even the words, the words are still coming together, but it's like it is going to have an impact in different parts or different areas of your life. I mean, in this card here, I'm seeing, the trees like in the forest, and in this one, I'm seeing the ocean. And both of these areas, while one being water, the one being on land, both of them are very vast, very huge. So big impact like an ocean, big impact like a forest. And again, to do or not to do, to change or not to change, to make the move or not make the move. But you making the move is going to be very bold. At the time of me recording this, we are very much in, I think, Aries season going into Taurus season. Right? What comes after Aries? Is it Taurus? I think so. Oh, yes, it is. I'm going to trust that. So, that's, of course, now Earth energy is very bold. I'm also getting, it's like we got to tap into the fire a little bit as well. But yes, it's very bold, especially with the planetary moon shifts that are happening right now. And I'm also trusting that Spirit led me to bring out this deck for the readings for this particular purpose, is because there's something about, aligning with the moon energies and how these energies are very much forming part of our manifestation, or paying attention to what occurs during different moon cycles allows us to better create, to better manifest. This is interesting. Anyways, let me put this down. I think this is definitely like, the question, to do or not to do. It kind of feels like a marriage. It also kind of feels like a commitment to something is being called upon right now. But yeah, we're going to see what that's all about. So as I was shuffling the tarot deck, some cards like just popped out. But I put two cards down for this oracle deck as well. I feel like maybe getting out one more card, right? Spirit, what you saying? This one here. But wait, where is this deck? Is it back in here? Oh yeah, it is. All right, let's just get out one more. Guys, while I'm doing this, all my important details are at the bottom, like in the description. All the love, all the light is appreciated. If you're trying to contact me for whatever it is that you would like to contact me for, it's over there. It's over there, man. We have 42 vulnerability and 41 vision. 41, 42. But again, for it to go from 42 to 41, and then last one that I'll take here is openness, 27. At the back of this deck, we have number 2, attachment. So yeah, we're gonna read these all together. I just wanted to get all of these out so we can just get this big picture one time. And I think that, that there's a correlation to that, because here I am thinking about how, if there's a big decision to be made, you want to gather your facts. You want to have a whole view or understanding of okay, if I go with path A, what does that mean? If I go with path B, what does that mean? I just saw 607. And that's been interesting. I've been seeing also it's often that I look at the clock and I see matching numbers, mirrored numbers, or even ascending numbers, But lately I've been seeing I'm catching, especially with the matching numbers, I'm usually catching the one after. So it's I just said 0607, and I could have looked a second earlier to see 0606. So it's you are one off, or you one step away from this thing. That's what's been coming through. So, if this is the path, you could be again one step away coming to the path, or one step off, one step off the path. So I think this is coming through in that, again, mutable cardinal ways to say you are fixed on the path to it, or the fixed or getting muted or changed, mutable, changing back to the right path. So I think there's 2 different energies that are coming together and coming head to head to say both of these energies acknowledge that there's the middle path. It's the dark and the light wanting to work through the heart or through a vessel, through a spirit. It's 2 lanes merging into one, 2 becoming one. It's that's kind of what's happening right now. And it feels whichever path that you're on, based on this collective, whether you're on the cardinal path or on the mutable path, the mutable path is nothing yet is set in stone. You can get back to that path. And then the cardinal path is you're almost there. So just be bold and make the first move. So I'm getting it as again, whatever's going to transpire right now, it's a matter of saying we're getting to the aligned path, the new timeline, the new, trajectory. Yeah. Okay, give me a second. Hold up. Let me do this on camera. The reason why I stopped, right, is because I wanted to get this incense stick and light it up. And I'm thinking, earlier today, when I brought out these incense sticks, so I brought out one to switch on at the time, which was in the morning. And then all of a sudden, I'm out of breath, goodness. I brought out 2 additional incense sticks. But at the time, I wasn't thinking okay, Spirit's gonna want me to do 2 readings, right? Because I'm just going about my day, doing all of the things for the man. And I'm oh snap, the previous incense stick finished with the previous reading, and there's one more just staring at me. And I usually have incense burning while I'm in the reading, right? But I just thought to myself that sometimes we do things without always knowing 911, 911. There's no need to panic. There's more call to trust. There's more call to know that, when our spirit moves and we just move with the spirit, there's a reason as to why we're doing that. So earlier on, I'm taking out 3 incense sticks. I light up one, and the other 2 are just chilling there, literally waiting for me to finish my work day. And here I was, just thinking okay, it's time. I'm ready to go. And Spirit's no, we've got some work to do, But yeah, interesting. I just thought I'd share that with you guys for a bit because, yeah, I just kind of felt like I needed to share that out loud for some reason. But yeah, that's why I said, give me a second. So I paused, picked it up, and I was like, nah, like I need to do this on camera, and I don't usually do that. But anyway, okay, let me put it down. Let me not create a hazard. Oh, gosh. Okay, let me pause for a bit. Alrighty. And that was 10:13 or 10:14, so 114. Oh my gosh, 911 for the 144,000. It's like, yo, this is what's going on here. This is like perhaps like a warning to, like, you know, or it's just an alarm or just something to be aware of. It's like, yo, mutable path, cardinal path. Where are we gonna go with this thing? Where are we gonna go with this thing? But anyway, all right, let's go into this, gang. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, always love, always love. So, with the cardinal moon and the mutable moon, I was speaking to how, you know, you can look at your different signs to see which ones are cardinal, which ones are mutable, right? But the first thing that caught my eye actually while I was busy speaking to that was this first card here, which is the step out of your comfort zone. And here it says North Node, right? Your North Node is, if you like go into your birth chart and stuff, your North Node is like where you're being directed towards. It's very much aligned with your purpose. And of course, the opposing node is the South Node, which is usually the things that you need to overcome and the things that you need to heal. So as you are approaching your North Node, your purpose and expression, living out your passion, your dream, your desire, your plan, right? Fulfilling your soul contract, there is a call for you to step out of your comfort zone, to break out of what is familiar. And that is, you know, between this path of being cardinal or mutable. So granted, even on like our birth charts, we all have like signs in different houses, in different places, but we all have a North Node and a South Node. And with me even thinking about it like a contract, a mission, a purpose, it's to say all of us having a North Node in a particular sign speaks to that area where we need to flex, be our best selves, show and prove within that area. And I was speaking to how, you know, we are very much moving into this energy of like Taurus right now, where it's very bold, it's very forward, it's very front, you know, it's like it's a new frontier, it's like a new shift, a new era, a new time. There's another word they wanted to come through there, but I'm trusting that it will come through as it needs to. But yeah, there's just something about like stepping up, stepping out, showing out. It's like a show and prove season, you know, because if I'm relating also the step out of your comfort zone to this here about being bold and making the first move, it's like Spirit is going to meet you where you move towards. Oh, sorry, confirmation burp. In fact, don't mind me. I don't even need to apologize. We're all human here, right? And perhaps, oh gosh, Spirit, it's crazy how you make these things part of the reading. It's like you don't need to apologize for being yourself, because again, it's so easy to be in comfort, to be in a place where you are surrounded by the familiar. But let's say you've been holding back all this time and then you decide to step out of that comfort zone, and then people will be like, oh, you've changed, this is not the you or the version of you that we're used to. And they were comfortable with that version of you, but because you've changed, you are comfortable with this new version of you, but like you are not now going to fear what that is for you, right? It's like you being seen, you being more confident is you being more bold, and other people might not be used to, you know, you being that version. Damn, there's like a lot of things happening to me right now. I'm feeling a lot. But I wanted to say that in a different way, or it was like being downloaded in a different way. Okay. But Spirit, I trust you. You're gonna bring that back, you know. Talk to me nice, you know. Talk to me clear. Let's get it out. Let's get it nice, man. Let's get it through. But let's move on to the next card. If it comes back to me, well, you know what? This is the card that like I put back into the deck and it came back out. It's like, nah, me coming out again. So you stepping out of your comfort zone and bringing love into the situation, or bringing love into the zone. So it's like getting out of one zone, one state, into another state. And in this new state, as you come out of this state that you're in and going into the new state, whether it being the cardinal or the mutable, to get back into the aligned state, you need love to get into the aligned state. Whether you're taking a step forward or you're taking a step back, love is what's required to get into this new zone, this new state, right? This new way, this new habit, this new routine. Okay, I see you, gang. Okay, we're gonna end up with these other cards here. Yo, my throat's been going off. Okay, hold up. All right. So first card that we have over here is the Judgment card. Interestingly, I feel like there's something about this message being read in the upright as well as in reverse. Like this whole message, because we're speaking to being on the path, before the path and after the path, like mutable and cardinal, like that's very much a theme right now. So I think as I read each card, I'm just going to read it in the reverse as well. So I hope you don't get confused, but take what resonates. Always apply discernment with these readings. Again, it's collective, so if you find yourself here, again, there's definitely something for you. Could be all of it, parts of it. You know, this is just confirmation for those who align and resonate with it. But Judgment, you are being called. This is a calling. This is a reawakening and a awakening, if not a reawakening. So some people are off the path. I was about to say off and on at the same time. Some people, again, because it's both things that are happening. Like I'm saying, I could feel that, okay, there's both things happening right now. Some people are off the path, some people are on the path. So that's why for some they are awakening to it, some are reawakening to it. But because this is a call, you know, I'm thinking about like a call and there's a response as well. So of course, two energies recognizing each other, meeting each other at a certain place. I'm even thinking about in music where like one sound is a call and another sound is a response, where for you to respond to the call, you must recognize the call. So those energies that are calling you to step in or to re-step in or do it all over again are recognized to you. You know what it feels like when you are being called to meditation. You know what it feels like when you're being called to create, to invest more time in your friends, in your family, in the things that, you know, mean something to you, that are driving your heart, right? But it's like your guides, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit team, like they are all unique to us, and you know, we need to remember that, like our guides, I mean, here in this case we've got an angel, right? The angels know us and they know, like, okay, if I'm gonna speak to person A, I need to give them signs and synchronicities in this way. And I just realized that rhymed. And if I'm gonna speak to person B, I'm gonna need to give them something that they're gonna see. And you see how B and C, so others are looking for connections and synchronicities, but that's exactly what I mean. Is that like your guides are going to call you in a way that speaks to you, that resonates with you. And the moment you respond to the call, there are all of these other cards that are going to transpire, right? On the other side of that, which is now in reverse, is to say there are some people who are receiving the call or ignoring the call, but not acting upon the call. So there's some people who are just now starting to recognize what these signs and synchronicities are, and others are seeing what this is. It's like alarms going off. That's what I'm getting right now. You know, even certain timers and things like that, alarms, sirens, it's coming through in that way where, you know, again, sounds, right? Because again, it's like, you know, it's a horn going off. So it's like these different sounds, or like, oh, did we not just have 911 at the beginning? Alarm, warning. Look how it all comes together. But like, it's like, again, like me now being drawn to this flag. I'm seeing it like this, where these some of these things were blocked. It's like, nah, I'm not ready to hear this right now. I'm not ready to receive this, or not ready to answer this call right now. But in either way, there is definitely a change or a ruling that is being decided here. Because again, a ruler is straight and a ruling is a decision. And granted, nothing is yet set in stone, the mutable moon, and then also being bold and make the first move. So you see how it all comes together with this cardinal and mutable moon, is to say we are in a position where a call has been made. Do you really want the thing that you want? Do you really want to live the life that you want to live? Do you really want the love that you want? You know what I mean? Like the things that are suited for you, or the energies that align with you, that you want to align with, you are being questioned right now as to say, like, do you actually want these things? I think, oftentimes we can be in between energies, like on the path, off the path. And it's like I'm getting an image of like a sine wave right now, where you see like a wave like going up and down, where it's not straight in line on this like graph, and I'm thinking about that applying to life. Like, we don't always take a straight line to our destination. It's not always like that, but we know that's the shortest distance to it, right? But we sometimes steer off the path. We on it, and then we get off, like more into the negative side. Then we like on it again, more into the negative side. It's like we sway like a pendulum does. But I think it's that commitment to say, I know where the destination is, and even if I sway, I'm still like moving towards it. I'm even getting like a snake kind of like moving in the sand or in the grass, or like just hunting and prey, predator and prey, where like what your target is. And even if you have to like kind of duck and dive, go through trials and tribulations and these different experiences, can you remember where your true north is? Woo, my boy, look at this. Can you remember where your true north is? The direction that you actually need to go in. Wow, Spirit. Look at you just bringing it back. Look at you. Oh, it was 2232. Wow. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. I love it when Spirit does things like that. It's giving. It's giving. It's giving. Lift years going off. Moving on to the next card, we have the King of Pentacles, right? This is, I would say, the master of the earth realm. This is having your cake and eating it too. I'm reminded about how we are spirits, souls having a human experience, and we want to make the most out of life, to have the most abundant, blessed experiences and lifestyle. And I feel, granted, I'm saying that like as an umbrella statement, but it looks different for each of us, right? But we all want the best of what life or our lives have to offer us based on what our North Node is. So whatever your direction is, what it would look like having achieved that or having mastered that. And this is you in that state. Sorry, confirmation, but there I'm saying sorry again. Like, come on now. Oh, this is what I was talking about earlier on, where I was like saying like we are feeling sorry for being ourselves. Like, we're feeling sorry for ourselves and thinking that we need to make other people feel comfortable when we are in our own zones. You know what I mean? Like, we recognize the similarities that we have with other people. Like, we're all human, we all were born, we're all gonna perish. But what happens in the in-between? My sine wave is not your wave, you know what I mean? Because there's like those box waves, there are those like, very sharp waves. I'm forgetting what their names are right now. Like, yo, I haven't done electronics and science stuff in a long time, but you know, it's in there. My foot just got itchy, but it's again, we're making the movements or the steps, right? From wherever we are, where we started, south node perhaps, all the things we needed to heal, recover, uncover to get into our north node, where we step up, we show out and show out, show up and show out. But it's like you having answered the call allows you to be this very accomplished version, this very successful version of yourself. But then you not answering the call means that you don't even get to experience all that life has for you. I was talking about like having your cake and eating it too, but it's like, imagine like a cow, like you're gonna milk it dry. You're gonna get as much as you can out of it. I mean, if people think about a cow, they probably wanna get the milk, they wanna get the meat, they wanna get the hide, you know, they wanna get as much of it as they can, right? But other people just appreciate cows for what they are. Is it not in India where like, you know, people like really have a lot of respect for cows and stuff? But you get what I'm saying? It's like we are going to have the experience that we align ourselves with, and it all comes from what we perceive in our zone, where again, like I'm saying, in one part of the world people are going to respect a certain thing, and in another part of the world they're going to want to make the most out of that thing. So I'm using the cow as the example, but it could be your life and your experiences where you were placed in this time, in this era, in that environment, in that home, in that family, to bring about a particular change or frequency, an alteration, you know what I mean? Declaration, proclamation. It's like you are put in a position to charter a new path, to do something new or different by answering this call. And you could either do that fully and wholeheartedly and become the master of the earth realm and have your cake and eat it too, milk everything, or you know, I'm also getting like, whoever I'm speaking to, you're not greedy, so you understand that even you being in this position, you have the chance to even like bless other people, invest into things. You get me? But like the other side of you means you were not the one who broke the generational curses. You are not the one who made the negative into a positive, who alchemized the transmuted energy such that you could master your earthly experience and make the most out of your time here on the earth realm. So it's like this person here has the money, they've got like the greenery, they've got the life around them, you know, they've got all the like the buildings there in the background as well. So it's like, you know, all things on this plane you could not even experience as much as you could if you don't make the answer to this call where you feeling led to your north node, you know, your true north. Okay, Spirit saying we gotta bring the other oracle card in. Okay, so again, we were getting here 2814. We were getting bringing love into the situation, right? Okay, we gotta chill for this one. Ooh, okay, Spirit, I see you. And you know, they are saying, talk to me nice, talk to me clear, and you're doing exactly that. Okay, I know we're still getting to the other cards, right? But the heart chakra is green, and all of these cards have some green in them. I mean, the angel is wearing a green top. There's like green, like actual green, like, you know, plants and fauna. And then over here, the green is in the attire and the green is in the scarf. So all of these cards have some green in them, which is they have some heart in them, they have some love in them, right? Of course, now being drawn to the next card, which is also here, where these wands have leaves on them and the leaves are green. Oh wow, it just got so bright all of a sudden. Like, oh, okay, it's because it's a yellow card. Goodness gracious, guys, like your blessings are so bright. You know what's that saying of like, you're wearing shades because your future's too bright or something? I'm getting that type of an energy, but I mean, that's what it is. Like the Three of Wands, this is you looking ahead. This is like your highest path. You know, with me even saying earlier on about being on the path and off the path, it's like, think about it like lines on a page. Maybe, let me see, can I use this one? Does this have lines on a page? Yes, it does. Okay, so back to school now. Let's say like one of these lines is your like ultimate path, right? Or your highest timeline, let's call it that. And then there are like lower timelines and there's even higher timelines. But just bear with me for now, just for a little bit. You could be, with me thinking about this card here and me thinking about your higher self, it's like, imagine where you are on this lower timeline, but then you could like kind of detour and then join the highest timeline. Or, for me to even say like, maybe that's your ideal timeline, there might be a better one. It's a matter of saying like, once you've made the most of the timeline that you're on, you, let's say, would have milked that one, achieved everything that you could on that line, and then because you still have so much more to give, you still have like so much more of an impact to make, or you are yet to fully step into your North Node, you could be blessed with something even greater, But depending on how you want to look at it, me looking at this as like positive progression. What if part of it was like positive, negative mixed, where this one here in the middle is the right one, and then you going that way more into negative, or that other way into negative, or more into positive, you get me? So it's like you just coming back like true north, like bearing north is just like, let's say it was those two timelines, like that was the negative one, this was the positive one, or less positive one, and then they like kind of come back. And like I was saying, in the middle, or in the earlier of this, we're getting to the middle, but at the beginning of this I was speaking to how like the paths converge to like the greatest, highest timeline, like the highest version of yourself. And that's what's happening over here, because they are the two again coming back to one. And it's like, the more grounded you are, the more in your love that you are. Wow, this light is just like changing up a lot. But the more you are that centered version of yourself, right? You emerge these into one. And if I'm looking at it, it looks like it's actually the highest wand. And I'm like noticing how I said one and wand, like they sound so similar. And with me even thinking about that, I'm thinking like one of one. There's something very unique to you, as well as you being one of one, like you being unique as well. I was also thinking about Ghana, like I think he's got his album, or there's a song called One of One. Your path is very particular to you, it's tailored to you. Can you imagine like how different aspects, elements, or situations had to come to be just for you to even exist, right? And your upbringing, the things that make you who you are, like from your DNA to your environment, there's just something very special and unique about how you are the only one who can do the things that you do, and also live the life that you live, teach the way you teach, draw the way you draw, express the way you express, perform the way you perform, show up the way you show up. Like, I think you get what I'm putting down. And that meticulous nature of the divine coming to create you, this unique being with this unique experience, with these unique lessons to learn, and with this unique blessing, right? You are going to realize that there is no one like you. There is no one that can share your experience, and no one can be you or do what you are meant to do. You can't like piggyback off of someone else's success, or piggyback off of things that were not done. It is going to require effort, because before the Three of Wands, we have the Two of Wands, and that is like having that plan, having that blueprint, having your eye on the prize, or targeting yourself to say, this is where I'm stepping towards. I have the world in my palm. And if your path is supported, what is it that you would do? And you tap in to your highest self. I'm thinking about a lyric right now. Oh my gosh, this has been happening quite a lot lately in the readings, because granted, I've been making more music, but I see you, Spirit. It's like, you know, I'll just use myself as the example, as always. And you know what? It's because I know me the best. Like, I know my story is not just for me, it's for other people as well. But it's like, I know that I'm my best when I'm expressing, you know, when I'm creating in whichever medium I choose. I mean, this is also a medium, this is a channel as well. But in this case, I'm thinking about me and my music, right? In this lyric, I'm thinking about how, okay, so sorry, the first thought that I'm trying to complete is to say, I am a better version of myself when I'm expressive in that aspect. But the other side of this is the lyric, which is tapping in with the higher version of me. Like, it goes something like that. I'll link it in the description so you can listen to it. But it's coming through in this way to say, when you tap into the highest version of yourself, so thinking about the example I just made about being on different timelines, if you were in a lower timeline, or let's make it practical, in your current timeline, the life that you live right now, and you think about the life that you are your best, you are your most successful, you are your most, you know, you are the best you, and there's this you, and there's that version of you, the best you, and you think about like this gap between them, you know, what quantum leap it's going to require, or the willingness gap, you know, however you want to think about that. But there's some kind of shift in energy that's taking place between your current version and your highest version. And this card is coming through to say that us tapping into our highest version is actually us tapping into the love. Because once you think about what life would I love, what life would I love to experience, be a part of, what would I love to do every day, what would I like to love to have in my life every day, or experience, you know, kind of a thing. It's that recognition of the love that allows you to tap into that highest version and saying, that version of me loves themselves, they love their thoughts, they love their thinking, they love their lifestyle, they love their surroundings, they love their people. So the moment you tap into that version is when you kind of get the big picture and things become clear for you as to why you are making this bold move and why nothing is yet set in stone. Because if you don't even know what you love or know what it is, then you are in a position to create it. And that's the mutable part, because, oh wow, here Spirit making this connection is to say, that's why there's these two pathways, but then there's also two groups. There are some people who know exactly what they want and they just need to take that leap or step into that. And there's some people who are still creating what they want or are discovering what they want. But in both groups, in both collectives that are watching this, you understanding what your highest path is what allows you to now start manifesting it, creating it, getting into yourself. Because this thing that, as much as they are looking out like into the wilderness, right, or into like the vast expanse over there, it's like there's a galaxy outside of you, but there's a galaxy within you. So your highest self is the inner self, you know. So as vast, as open as that land is there, it's like you need to do that exploration within you to say like, what is it that is within me that's going to do that? And as I was saying, I'm going to read the cards in reverse as well. I just saw 38, 35. This would be forsaking that. Would be not taking the time to actually discover or uncover what bringing love into your experiences, into your life, into your day-to-day would actually look like. Because you know what, when we accept less, we are saying to the world, to the universe, to ourselves, that we don't love ourselves enough. I know that's kind of tough to say, trigger warning maybe for somebody, but you know, I'll use myself as the example again. Like when I would accept people hurting me, let's say I'm in a relationship and somebody would like promise to treat me better and they don't, and I keep forgiving them, hoping that they would change. You know, at a certain point, people show you who they are, and it's either you accept that or you don't. But there's a point where, you know, I had kind of like false hope in thinking like, ah man, my family member is actually gonna change. Like I wouldn't expect them to be the one who's gonna hurt me, or this love interest is actually not going to be the one who continues to cheat or hurt me or whatever. And granted, I mean, sometimes we are the villain in other people's stories, but in our own version, in our own experience, when we recognize that, like, shit, I've been accepting less. What I thought was love was actually toxic. What I thought was friendship, what I thought was family was not ideal. So if you love yourself enough, you now, I'm seeing like the horizon there, and it's like, for me, it's like a boundary as well. It's like you love yourself enough to have a boundary between what you're willing to accept and what you're not going to accept, because the highest version of you, the version of you that absolutely loves themselves and is super blessed, super abundant, right, which is this version here, is not allowing certain energies. It's not allowing certain behaviors, certain actions. It's like you are more strict, you are more discerning, you have understood your energy and your auric field and how to preserve that, how to maintain and sustain that. So you're not gonna go and forego those lessons or the paths or the learnings of what your higher self wants to bring forward to you or in you or around you. So this being in the reverse, it's to say, like, you are going to love yourself so much, right? Because again, we're talking about bringing love into the situation. You are not going to, I mean, you know what? I'm just so led to speaking to the positive, goodness gracious. But again, the negative side. But guys, apply it as it fits. You feel me? Like, I'm making different examples as I'm reading the positives, like the upright and the reverse. But I think you can, like, you get where I'm going. We're weaving this thing. We're sign waving this thing. You are not going to, like, put yourself in a position where you don't love yourself enough to want the best for yourself. Like, straight up. You cannot forsake you. Gosh. Oh, there was something else that I was gonna say, but I feel like I just dropped the bar as well, 424. But yeah, Spirit's gonna bring it through as it needs to come through, man. Yo, goodness. Oh wow. Don't know what happened over there. Felt like I was about to drop the card. And I closed my eyes thinking, oh shit, don't hit me. But Five of Swords. I'm looking at the swords on the ground here, and we were talking about, look at my alarm there, telling me to get back into routine, because this is time for me to do some Reiki. But these two swords, okay, there's something about that we're going to get back to, but let's start here. These two swords, it's, again, I'm getting the two paths that we were talking about, the mutable and the cardinal. But it's about how both of those learnings and teachings can come together and allow us to get back to one, allow us to put our foot forward, right? Which is this foot forward here. There are parts, versions of our life, the people, experiences, whatever, that we are leaving behind. I mean, these people are like looking towards the past. And there's this version here that is the one that is, again, leading from the heart, that is observing and learning from those versions, while they are also closed, but they don't have the heart in them. They don't have the self-preservation. They don't have the self-care, the consideration for self first. Because I'm reminded now that you can only give what you have. So if you don't love yourself, how can you say that you're actually giving love to people? So imagine me using that example that I was just giving now, where I was accepting less from family, friends, or love interests, and I thought that was love. But if I'm not even loving myself to accept the best for myself, then that means that there's even a greater level or capacity of love that I was yet to experience, not only for myself, but within connection. So the moment that I recognize that, oh, actually, I'm seeing this, one of them actually has a green, oh, wow, okay. Let me finish this thought. There's a greater capacity of love that I'm yet to even understand or experience or know about, but it was not in those engagements, right? But You know, now that I'm seeing this, okay, I'm just gonna bring it a little bit closer. This person has like green there on the side, and I'm thinking like, you know, there's more love for self than what's in there, and it's like this is being close to it. It's like no green at all, a little bit of green. Now there's a lot of green. You know, there's a lot of green. Like look at that, right? You know, some things are really close to the ideal timeline. Some things are appear. You know, what's that thing in like side mirrors? Objects appear. Objects in the mirror may appear closer than they actually are. Objects are closer than they appear. Something like that. But some situations might appear to have the love in them, but truly, you know, I'm thinking about the yellow, they might just be siphoning your energy. They might just be, you know, drawing at your life force and appear to be grounding. You know, I'm thinking about the colors in relation to chakras, but the real love, the real grounding is within you. Wow. Wow, spirit, like, yo, cook. Cooking up the drip. Hey, listen, spirit, I love it when you cook. I love it when we cook, you know, because it's a collaboration, of course. But guys, this is speaking to, you know, in the traditional interpretations of this card, this is speaking to like winning at all costs, you know, pettiness, deceit. This is the person who's also like greedy, because I mean, imagine it's like we could all share these swords, but you just want them all for yourself. There's something about how, you know, thinking about this in that upright, especially about this journey, it's like, I mean, from the Judgment to the King of Pentacles to the Three of Wands, it's like you being this version who's answered the call, who has, you know, been so well accomplished by tapping into their highest self, is not the version that like stepped on others. You know, like I'm thinking about like in the corporate world where people like get to high positions, right? It's like King of Pentacles by stepping on other people. Like now you're well accomplished, you're well established, but you're not going to do that by hurting other people, because again, we are bringing love into the situation, right? So is it loving to be deceitful? Is it loving to, you know, have false intentions? You get me? Like bad intentions. Yeah, but anyway, just like energy that's not fitting or that's not suitable to positive alignment, right? And we're being reminded again. Remember, we got the 911, which is like the warning and the sirens. It's like we started with the Judgment, and now at the end of it all is to say, you being this loving version of yourself, this more grounded version of yourself, oh wow, a part of it means, yes, you need to let go of certain people and certain things, because this could also be looked at as a positive. Maybe this, oh wow, this could be the bold move. Like you choosing yourself, and I was saying how you could be the villain in other people's stories. You choosing yourself sometimes looks like you're the villain in other people's stories because they wanted the version of you that they were comfortable with. But then sometimes you need to be cutthroat about your happiness, cutthroat, non-negotiable about your peace. And you know, even now as I've grown older, I've understood that like, yo, I want to be in engagements that are fruitful, abundant, but also peaceful. Like, yo, my peace matters so much. Like, yo, man, if you're not peaceful, like, what are you doing in my space, you know? And again, I'm just being reminded of the lines. Anytime I see straight lines, I'm thinking, yo, we gotta cut this thing off. It's like almost like being beheaded. Like, you know, one of those like guillotines and just like chopping things off. It's like, yo, we're gonna cut off the cords, the attachments to anything that is not bringing peace or that is not in alignment with the highest self, you know? And I get it. Like I'm saying, this could be looked at as a negative way, you know, you're petty, you're winning at all costs, you're like kind of greedy in a sense, you know. But sometimes as an act of self-preservation, you need to choose yourself first, you know. Interestingly, you know, we can always look at certain things as negative or positive, depending on how other people see them. But that is us being the bold people that we are. we are being asked to see things from a different perspective. And I mean, that's what Spirit told me to do. Spirit was like, no, we're not taking on any more cards, because these cards are the message, you know. We already got the full picture at the beginning. So that means that if we can just take the time to explore, to see things for what they truly are, then we get the whole message. Because on the other side of this, you know, if it was all those quote unquote negative things that were happening here, it could be like, okay, where this argument, or, you know, this person was like winning at all costs or whatever. Now it could have been like their peaceful resolution, then coming to an understanding, like after a period of time, but also them coming to an understanding, this community, this group. Apply that as it resonates with you and your situation. But as I'm saying that you could be choosing yourself and what's for you first, the opposite of this is not making that bold move, not aligning with your true north. And you now almost let your strength, your power go. You leave the truth like laying dormant. You leave it on the floor. Oh, confirmation, bro. Oh, and I didn't say sorry this time. 50-51. It's because, you know, again, a recognition of what is true, a recognition of what binds us as people, a recognition of also what makes us unique. We were just speaking about that. Like, what is truly me? What is truly you? What is truly somebody else is their unique self, their unique journey, their lesson, their contract, right? And if we were all the same, life would be boring, honestly. But it is this recognition of our differences that make us truly unique. And you are not here to please everybody. You are not here to be loved by everybody, because you are not for everybody. You are here to make the difference in that area, in that space, in that timeline, in that zone, right? In this new zone that you occupy, which clearly required you to get out of your comfort zone. But in this new area, in this new zone, in this new timeline where you are now, even here in this new place, you are not for everyone, you know. I think oftentimes, which is something that would also happen to me, is that I think that other people are just as considerate as me, just as compassionate, just as thoughtful as I am, but they are not. And those lessons of us recognizing that we can't expect ourselves in other people all the time is this reminder of why we need to come to a certain point or level of peace within ourselves to say, I am unique, I am different, and because of that, I am on a different path, and it can't look like, or I shouldn't rather expect it to look like anybody else's path. Granted, there are similarities because of maybe, you know, like shared experiences, like, you know, I'm thinking about like the Black experience, where all people of color experience certain things that people who are not would not experience, you know what I mean? So I would experience some things that other people with locks would also experience, you know? So it's like we all experience some things that are shared, but the unique experiences that I have will be different to another person. So I'm a person of color with locks, and there's a person who's not of color with locks. We share the locks experience, but we don't share the racial or, you know, group experience type of a thing. You know, I'm even thinking about like geography. I'm in South Africa. I have a South African experience, and somebody's in another country. And again, with the, let's say the skin, right? We could have the same skin, but our environments are different. So even the climate is different. So you get me? Our experiences are different, and I'm using those examples. You chop and change them as necessary, of course, and apply your discernment as always. I'm not here to trigger or offend anybody, but I'm just saying that, like, as you do certain things, you align with the experience that you want for yourself, because you've taken the time to figure out what is it that you love, and you brought love into the situation, love into yourself, love into the things that you want. And then that, you know, brings about your clarity, you know, because swords, again, wisdom, clarity, knowledge about what is it that you actually want to do, and make that move. Be bold. And again, that creation, co-manifestation energy, because nothing is yet set in stone, nothing is yet cemented. So you can choose how you want to navigate this thing. 5436. All right. Yo, I think that was so interesting. Like, give me a second. I've been like wanting to moisturize for a second. Okay, give me a second. Hold on. All right, home stretch, 54, 51. Yes, our last 3 oracle cards. Oh, okay, Spirit's saying actually, let's look behind the decks first, and then we're gonna get to these oracle cards. At the back of the tarot deck, we have the Page of Wands. This is picking up something, of course, following on with this reading. This is picking up something that you perhaps once left behind, and it's coming across as like picking up your wand, picking up your ability to create the life that you actually want. Because we were talking about how, you know, once you bring love into the situation and you align with your true north, you actually like go inside and you ask yourself, like, what is it that I actually want? I mean, this page, this student is looking at the ability to create this life, this experience, or how to use their power, how to express, how to be creative, their willpower. And it's like, yo, I can figure this whole thing out, you know? This is about being curious again, wondrous all over again, and just allowing yourself to dream in a sense, you know? Just being childlike as well, it kind of feels like, you know, just being open to exploration, knowing that you are still a student of life and that there's much more for you out there should you choose to take it. And it's up to you. It's not set in stone, but you can be bold enough to say, I don't care how old I am. I'm not bound by time, because time is an illusion. Don't worry about what people are going to say, do, or think, you know. But if I choose to have something within my life, within my reality, my experience, then I can go for it. Because again, your path is not like anybody else's path. And what happens for you, your timing is not like anybody else's, but it's divine timing, it's divine engineering, because it aligned for you at the time it was supposed to align for you, because you are the person who is not only having the thing, but becomes the person who can have that thing, look after that thing, that person, that experience. You get what I mean? And that's the journey of becoming. And that's what we do here on Root Holistic, going on the journey within, I mean. And of course, in the reverse, as we've been saying, like we're looking at all of these cards in upright in reverse. Oh, but these oracle cards in reverse. No. Okay. But maybe another time. Yo, that's going to make it so deep. Goodness gracious. But I think, you know what, we've touched on the other aspects of it, and it's coming through in what I'm saying. So again, apply it, take it as it resonates. You make the connections as needed. But this would be the opposite of that, you know, being given such a great opportunity to like explore like 7 wonders of the world. It's like somebody giving you a ticket to like an open ticket, like write down any country you want to go to, and you just like don't write it down. You've been given a check and they say write down any number you want deposited in your account, and you don't write anything down. It's like, this is foregoing that opportunity to discover what or how great things could actually be. So you reminding yourself, humbling yourself, coming back to yourself, and recognizing that, you know, everything takes like an element of like transmutation and like alchemy. I'm looking at like this chameleon or lizard there, and I mean, the chameleon changes color according to its environment, right? So you'll be in environments or situations that prompt you to rethink how you even view yourself, how you view abundance, success, and what your North Node is. Because from what I've understood about my life and even, you know, the people that I've been around, we are presented with situations, circumstances, opportunities that are ultimately steering us back to our true north. And the moment you get to realize like, oh, this is the lesson that keeps coming up in these different people, places, and situations, then you tap into that more. So one of the things that I really had to tap into was trust, because I needed to learn how to trust myself. I needed to learn how to trust my spirit team. I needed to learn to trust my collaborators, my family, my friends, my love interests. But the lesson of trust would show up in multiple different ways. But having spent that time within myself, now I've understood, like, oh wow, at the baseline of all of these different things, there was trust. And I'm thinking about another guy that I met, and his main lesson was about light. And the light that I'm getting all these shivers right now, the light that he would share with himself and the light that he shares with other people, because he's an electrician. And an electrician, that's what he does. He literally connects lights. He brings the lights to people. So you can now see like how light in his work, light in his life, light in XYZ situations. And we all ultimately have this baseline of a lesson, I think, that applies in every part or area of our lives. And the moment you take that time to discover that for yourself, then you get it, like, oh wow, like this was the big lesson. And the moment you step into that, then it becomes so much better. So you'll notice, especially if you've been here on the channel for a while, you'll notice there'll be multiple times where I'm saying, I'm trusting. It's because I'm also building this evidence for myself that trusting is normal. It's like it's part of my day-to-day. It's a normal thing. I just do it all the time. And it's a journey. I'm working on it. I'm still growing as much as you're growing as well. But the more I also see times when I've trusted and what that has done, the cause and effect of that, and times when I've not trusted and what that has done, the cause and effect of that. And it only further helps me grow, learn, and enhance my intuition and what works for me. 010134. And it's been a beautiful journey, and I appreciate that I can actually get to share it with you. And yeah, I'm just feeling led to say, like, right now, like, if you want to know what your lesson is, you know what I mean, just like hit me up. Trust me, I think we can figure this out. I'm at a point where I am so open to being of service, to allowing spirit to operate through me, to bring this light through. And I trust my guides and the guides of even the people that I'm working with, that they will bring the messages through strong, clear, and in such a way that we can perceive them and understand them, because again, they know us, right? And it's so beautiful that we are led in that manner, in that sense. Spirit, let me pull one more here. Oh goodness. And I think it's just going to be a reminder of, like, how much do we think we deserve? How much do we actually want to give to ourselves? And do we even have the capacity to love ourselves as much as we say we do, or as much as we desire to love? It's like, imagine you are manifesting like the greatest love ever. And the greatest love ever would mean it's multifaceted, right? It's not just like physical love, but it's also like a spiritual love. And you go, I mean, it has these layers, it has these dimensions to it. But now imagine you are not open to spiritual love, because having a spiritual love means that you've done spiritual healing as well. Like, you can, I think loving physically is easy or common or known. But like, when you think about like a love that is spiritual, you are now connecting with people at a spiritual level. But if you have not tapped into your own spirituality, how can you connect at that level? So if you want like this great all-encompassing love, then you again need to be all-encompassing within yourself, so that you can open up those channels to receive, and in those levels, in those channels. So I use the example of it being physical and spiritual, but I mean, there's some people who are sapiosexual, where it's a mental type of a love. Like, oh my gosh, I love the way you think. I love your brain. You've got a beautiful mind, and those who understand me and those that I can understand, it's because our minds are like open like that. And thank you for using your discernment, you know what I mean, to even absorb some of these messages as well. But like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you just knowing that the things that you truly desire need you to open up to them and hold a space for them. I'm getting that this card needs to stay in reverse, so I'll leave it as it is. I think for me and you to see this, at the back of the deck, I mean, we had the Page of Wands, as I was saying, in reverse, and then now this Knight of Cups in reverse. I mean, both of them are on like dry land. I mean, like from dry land to land with some water. It's like, can you actually let the waters flow? Like, let the heart lead. Let the emotions, let the energy in motion, let it flow. Because okay, Spruce coming through, man. What was once barren or distraught, desert, can now start to bring in life when you open yourself up to it. Once you take time to get into the light, to travel, to do that journey within, which is what I'm perceiving this horse as being. And again, we were speaking earlier to how it's not always about the speed, but the direction. So yeah, I mean, a horse can go really fast, but like going fast to where? Like just think about that for a bit. Alrighty, home stretch for real this time. Vulnerability, number 42. This person is sitting on the moon. And we have all these moon cards here, and I'm just thinking about in a previous reading how we were speaking to how that Tower card is showing somebody who's nude and who's bare and aligning with the moon cycles and what that means for us. I think if you want to experience something new, this is coming to like a blood moon for me as well. And like blood moons, I think that's like one of the unique moons, because you are a unique person with a unique vulnerable experience, right? To share, to live as well, to teach about what's actually happening over here. Oh, she's got a bunch of roses, and I mean, she just looks so happy. She looks content. I think you will find roses. You will find some beauty and some pain in your vulnerability, but it's you aligning with that and allowing yourself to embrace it, which brings about your glow. So there's a very strong feeling about how us being vulnerable in whichever element. I mean, here I'm saying I'm in my trust element, another person's in their light element, another person's in their dark element, another person's in their forgiveness element. Like, you get me? Like, there's something about what makes us truly vulnerable that allows us to shine. And when you are that, you can become this auspicious moon. You are able to even alter the waves, because the moon and gravity and the earth's rotation and all of that. It's like, I was even reading this article about how we don't actually have like exactly 24 hours in a day, and there are different things that happen in the world, and including the moon, that can alter exactly how long a day actually is. So at some point in the distant future, we might have 25-hour days, but for now, you have the energy or the ability to alter your day, and that is by you tapping into this energy of the moon and you being vulnerable and shining your light. But again, this blood moon, I don't know when the next blood moon is, but there's just something about that. I'm also getting like howling at the moon. You're gonna wolf out. I'm thinking about in the series on Netflix, Wednesday, there's that girl, Enid, how she wasn't a wolf for some time, and eventually she became the wolf under the blood moon, and it happened at the right time. She, like, at the time when she wolfed out, it was needed. And I'm not gonna spoil the story for you, but she was very helpful in her wolf state. So you shining your light is going to be very helpful. Be vulnerable. And she had already accepted herself for what she was, and she thought she wasn't going to wolf out, by the way, and she did at the right time. By the way, I love these cards at the back. They've got some rainbow colors and things going on, and they've got the moon as well. Wow. it's so interesting, like how whenever I bring in a new deck of cards and I do deck interviews, because I like speak to the deck, I connect to the deck, and the deck tells me like, hey, this is what I'm about, this is the energy that I can bring to you in your readings, this is what I even think about you. And now, I noticed that some decks like working with other decks as well. And this deck with the moon and the moonology is like, oh, hey brother, hey sister. It's like these two decks just found like a kinship, and they are already telling me like, oh, here's my distant moon relative. You know what I mean? Wow, interesting. Like how you know, I'm just thinking to myself like how the person who made this deck perhaps wasn't even thinking in the very least like this works well with other decks of certain types, but we end up finding those connections. I'm even being there to tell you guys about like how I call myself G3E, which is God's third eye, and I found this deck, the third eye tarot deck, and it's got all these eyes on it. And as much as I have many tarot decks, I mean, this one is like the original, the OG, I mean, with the stars and everything, me being all galaxy and stuff. But this deck here, it's like one of my favorite tarot decks, and I've connected with it in such a beautiful way. And I mean, I always use the OG and this one and then any other, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just so beautiful to be, you see, now I'm also being vulnerable in this reading and just like sharing and opening, because there's someone who's gonna like benefit and enjoy that, and get something out of it for themselves. And I think it's also just my penchant towards teaching and explaining. And you know what, if you want to learn some tarot, gang, come through. Like, honestly, you want to just learn more about yourself, learn more about this art, this tool, these tools, like, let's cook. Hit me up. I'm very much looking forward to expanding more, teaching more, living more, being more. I mean, like, you know what? Rewind. Just listen to all of that. Anyways, 41, vision. You know what, guys? It's, I'm being brought back to this, our higher selves, When you can see it, you can achieve it. The universe is magical. The universe allows you, oh, wow. Was I not just saying the galaxy within and the galaxy without? And just look at this. These butterflies are showing that galaxy within this little portal, or within their view, within their vision, within their view, right? So it's up to you what you see. As above, so below. I mean, there's alchemy taking place here, and the one path, the mutable path, the cardinal path. Come on now, these things all connect, right? Can't make this shit up. But it's like 1, 12, 17. When there I'm talking about the third eye tarot deck, and come on, we got all these eyes here. Oh my gosh, I just got all these shivers, and that's confirmation. But like, it looks like there's eyes on the wings. So as much as you have the third eye, the seeing eye, the eye of providence type of a thing going on here, it's a matter of saying, you even needing to see yourself, see the version of you that you've had to evolve from, the version of you that you are evolving into. I'm also being reminded of how, a butterfly is within a cocoon. I think a lot of us understand that there are some things that we achieve in our hermit phases, and we break out of those hermit phases to shine and learn at this new frontier, this new level. And even then, we're still going to learn things, and then we go back into hermit, and then we come out again. We go back into hermit and come out again. And that's also to like refine, retune the vision, and ensure that we are on the right path, trajectory, direction, So I think it's very important to have a vision, a vision and a plan. I'm thinking about a song by I Had a Vision, a Plan. Ooh, Sayari the Kid. Just having a vision, not necessarily knowing how it's all gonna work out, but because the universe is magical, you're gonna collaborate with the universe. There's gonna be some alchemy that takes place here, and you're gonna just experience something very great. I'm also getting vision board. I don't know, like a manifestation list, or You know, just the type of a thing, like the things that align with visions, visualizations as well. Like, just how do you take the time to focus on your vision and bring it to fruition? Because that, I mean, this person again is looking into the vast expanse, because that's what's available to you, infinity and beyond. You know, oh my gosh, Toy Story is like one of my favorites. Buzz Lightyear, you know. Openness, number 27. Yo, we gotta tap in, gang. We gotta tap in. This lady is, you know, legs crossed, meditation pose, and look at this triangle just above her head. It's like the moment you go within yourself is the moment you expand this vision, and like, you know, you see the world within, the galaxy within you, to say like, but I'm him, I'm her, you know, I'm that guy, I'm that girl, or I'm they, I'm them. Like, you know, I'm very much acknowledging our differences and our similarities, but you taking the time to tap into yourself is opening you up to yourself. You know, I think the greatest thing that we can discover is ourselves. Like, knowledge of self is high key, high vibe. It's very important, because when you know yourself, you get to align. You posture correctly. You know how to show up. You know what's for you and what isn't for you. And which brings me back to that line and the boundaries. You know, and you know, also been just thinking about how this openness is like here. You know, on the crown and so on. It's like being illuminated, having that connection with your guides, your angels, your ancestors. You know what I mean? Like your team, right? And there they are, even like dropping downloads in about like just how great you could be should you answer the call. You get me? Because the call is like down, you being revived, and it's because you were open to hearing it. You responded to the call. So can you be open to those signs, synchronicities, messages that are coming through that are unique to you? Because what's a sign for you is not a sign for somebody else. You're seeing butterflies all the time and you're thinking, everybody sees butterflies, but no, it's you who sees butterflies all the time. You know what I mean? You're the one who notices caterpillars all the time, but it's just you. You know, we find people just like us in these communities and online groups and things like that, but you know, again, takes me back to our experiences. We have some shared experiences, but not everything is the same for us. Some people know that, like, if I see a vulture, a scarecrow, if I see a crow or a raven, this is what it means. You know, somebody's gonna maybe get unalived or something. But like, you know, people have like, you know how when they say somebody's lying and you have like a tell, it's like that. Your life has tells, your experience has tells, and once you know the tells of your life and your experience, then you know like, it's this, and I need to tap in and tune into that. You know, I'm even thinking about like in my case today, I had spirit told me like, and my spirit team is weird because like they'll just tell me to do something, but then they won't tell me why. Because I need to trust, right? But then there's something that they told me to do this morning, which is like bring my charger, and I didn't. And I'm thinking like, oh shit. Now I see why you told me to bring the charger, because it would have made my evening more peaceful. You feel me? And here I am, like processing it, like acknowledging it. Granted, it's not like a huge high stakes thing, but that's what our spirit team does. Like they build up evidence of what it is that we should be aligning with or doing, such that when the stakes are high, when it's high stakes, you know, we're in the butchery with the cows. Oh my gosh, you see how my spirit team be cooking and now everything comes back together. When the stakes are high, because you've managed, you've handled, you've embodied, you've understood, you've done the things, you've done the work, you are not so confused when you are in those different situations. You know, you're not pressured to be outside of yourself because you have that knowledge of self. Wow. I love how these messages like always come back around. Goodness gracious. But yeah, like I say, man, we're all on a mission. We're all learning, discerning, so we can get to that earning. You know what I mean? Oh yes, one more. I was about to close, but it was like, yo, let's cook one more time. Attachment. You know what? We can be so held back by the old version, the old story, the old narrative, that connection that we thought we needed to show up a certain way. But at what cost? At what cost? When people are just out here trying to win at all costs. Like, come on now, gang. Come on now. We want to attach to things that are high vibrational, that are in alignment with our higher self. You know, if it's not allowing us to be revived, reawakened, renewed, restored, you know, if there's no ruling to alignment, I'm just seeing the death card peeking through over here. If it's not adding to our transformation, our rebirth, right? Ooh, and the 6 of Wands in the back. Oh, it's time to transition, right? It's time to make this move. Oh yeah, of course. Be bold and make the move. Yes, for sure, Spirit. I see you coming through with the closing messages. But it's like, yo, we're not gonna attach to trash, man. You know, I was just driving the other day. I was driving behind a garbage truck or pick it up for us, and I'm like, I'm not even like close to this thing, but it's just the field around it, the aura of the garbage truck is, oh, it's putrid, gang. Like, it smells, you know, and we want to be in the aura of life. We want to be in the aura of abundance, you know what I mean? We want to be in the aura of opulence, of blessings, of, oh my gosh, love, right? Because that's what we're bringing into this whole situation. So if I'm attached to anything, I'm attached to love, you know. And I wish that for you as well. Yeah, I was talking about a cow, and this looks like, you know, a skull and stuff, like from an animal. Well, it is a skull from an animal, but I don't know which, but I mean, oh goodness gracious. Just look in the background. Doesn't this look like a huge eye as well? And then we were talking about like the third eye and the vision and the openness. Like I said, everything comes back around. And this could also be the moon as well. I mean, there's so many ways to like read this intuitively, but you know, we can love that version of ourselves or love the things that we attach to, but we learn from them ultimately. And when we reattach to new things and detach from the old things, again, detach, attach, reverse, upright, how you want to take it, you know, we are taking the time to fully love ourselves and honor this new version, our highest self, right? Ooh, confirmation burp again. Goodness, Spirit, you're cooking today. We are cooking today. Togozan, praise, love. But yo, man, I think this reading is beautiful, and you guys get me. I'm not gonna belabor this. 122, 23. That's who we be here on Roots Holistic, doing that journey within. Thank you for joining me for another reading in our beautiful golden era. Man, everything's dope, man. Everything's so beautiful. And, you know, just shifting our frequency from the mutable to the cardinal to the high vibrational. Like, yo, let's go up. Elevate, 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 elevate. Peace and love, gang. Yay, yay!